What's going on, people? It's Mr. Dore back again with the review show. And yes, we won at home at last. I don't know how long it's been, but fantastic win for Forest. Win 1-0 yesterday against Crystal Palace. Get your thoughts in now. If you are new to our channel, please hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and get your comments on the views that we are going to speak about as well. And last but not least, if you can support Amanda Gretton's defibrillator for football, the link is at the top of the link on the top. She's on 49 defibrillators. If you can get it to 50, pay £1, 50p, anything to get it to 50 defibrillators, it'll help Amanda well. So if you can, click at the top. Please get Amanda today. Right, let's get the guests in. We'll start with the young, handsome Glenn. This one. How you doing, Glenn?
I'm all right. I've had a day, fortunately, on holiday, recovering from a 3.5 became 4-hour drive up and a 4-hour drive back from the game last night. So just come back from a run, feeling good. Looking forward to the next half hour, whatever it is, to talk about the game. And yeah, what a good performance from our team last night.
Well, next up, it's the starstruck Martin. The starstruck Martin, because I don't know if you've seen on his social media, he saw some two legends yesterday, and you're happy, aren't you, Jay? We won, but you are more happy than everyone else.
Yeah, it was going to be a good night from the start because they had sausage rolls on in the press box for a start, so that was always a good start. But Martin Tyler was there. Forest. I know. Yeah. Well, there was Martin Tyler there and Seb Hutchinson. I had a quick chat with them, and then we all went and watched Forest get 3 points. The first half was a little bit interesting, but the second half was really positive. So there's a lot of good talking points from that game, I think.
So people as well, get involved with the chat if you can. If you disagree with Jay, if everything Jay says, just please say, because he just talk a lot of rubbish, but that's why I've got him on the show. So people, I'm going to joke. People show some love to everyone as well. Waiting and ready. How you doing, Stuart? If you want to be a member to a channel, please do, people. Colin, go to win yesterday. It's Colin. Good evening, Mr. Dore, Jamie and Glenn. Hope you're all well. I'm so happy we won last night. I'm just doing a workout while watching and listening, and I've been drawing a picture of the seat ground. Keep drawing, Eve. Keep drawing. And as well, you did your race as well. My race went really well as well. Well done, Eve, for doing your race as well. So congratulations on that, and I hope I'll see you soon at seat ground. All right, so Forest won at last at home. And get the lads' thoughts as well. Glenn, how you feeling? First win since Fulham. Talk to everyone, man.
Yeah, first win since April, wasn't it, at home?
Yeah,
and that was a really, really key game for us at that point in the season. I think it really stretched the teams from the bottom, and it made us a little bit more ready, I think, for the rest of April and May. It turned out, and I think there's echoes to that in terms of the performance last night. I think the distance we've made on progress from last season, this point last season. I looked at something earlier on. I think we were 10th on 10 points this time last season. The team in 11th last season were Villa, which I was really interested by the way they finished. We're on 8th and plus 2 goal difference, which progress-wise is really phenomenal. It really does show, doesn't it? And no doubt we'll talk about that tonight, about how well our defence and cells are playing at the moment and how many goals we're conceding. But I think the home performance was needed. I think we've played teams in Fulham. I think it was a Fulham type game last night, wasn't it? It was very close, and at certain points, particularly in the first half, it could have been open and anybody's. That 15-minute spell in the end of the start of the second half was really telling in terms of when the goal was scored and how well we responded to that in terms of the substitutions. No doubt we'll talk about that later as well. But I think the performance overall, particularly like you said, Jamie, the second half was really positive. I think the changes we've needed to make as a result of the injuries, particularly in midfield, if you weren't a Forest fan and you looked at that, you wouldn't really see, I don't think, the need that we've got in terms of bringing players back in midfield and the issues we've got there. It was a really positive sign that our recruitment has put us in a position where we're able to put players in that might not necessarily be first choice, but that can do such a versatile role. And Anderson was phenomenal in that new role last night, in that 10 role. I'm sure we'll talk about him at length as well.
Yeah.
So a really positive result. I came away on the way down, even though the A1 was closed and the MLM was closed, and I had to go around the M25 with a massive smile on my face, and have done all day. And that's the most important thing, isn't it? You leave, and the way the fans reacted at the end, and the music, etc., was a really nice end to a tough game that could have gone either way, and in the end made that one critical moment from Wood in the 65th minute. And I'll say this again, Dore. How well is he playing for us?
Right. This is one I want to ask Jay, because people in the chat, I know Glenn's gone for me on this one about Chris Wood. Australian David's gone for me about Chris Wood. And like I said, in the past, and I know quite a lot of Forest fans did the same. Jay, what was your thoughts on Chris Wood when we first signed him, and look at him now? Was you one of them?
Well, I didn't like the signing at all. And not because... And I didn't blame Chris Wood, because this is the difference between my opinion and others at the start, was the fact that when Chris Wood signed, there was a £15 million price tag on his head. And I think sometimes people are really harsh and forget that it's not the player that chooses that. They are just the commodity being sold and bought, and they don't decide their value, other than obviously their actions on the pitch. But either way, they're not deciding at the time was an overpriced value for the player that we were getting. Sorry. But, obviously from when I saw him on his debut at Bournemouth away, to seeing him now, there's a player there that's fit, that's determined. That injury at Tottenham did him the world of good. In fact, that injury at Tottenham might have saved Chris Wood's career, because I don't believe before that point, and I'm not saying that Chris Wood doesn't work hard or anything, because you can clearly see that he does, but I don't see before that point him having such a redemption as he has now. I think that injury proved how resilient he is, how much of a hard worker he is, and how determined he was to prove that he's not only good enough to play for this football team, but to prove he's the best we've got, and to prove that he can be our main man. And yesterday he etched himself into history, because there's only two other players that have got 20 goals in the Premier League era, and that's Brian Roy and Stan Collymore.
Yep.
And he's only 4 away from equaling Brian Roy's tally. And you can imagine that he's probably going to get that. So
you've done your homework. You've done your homework.
Of course I've done my homework. I live on the internet.
He's a journo. That's why he's done it.
Maybe. I like throwing out the stats for DoreOntour exclusively. But either way, look, I was frustrated when he first signed. You can go back to some of your podcasts, and I was ranting and ranting. But I love to be proven wrong when it involves Forest, because I want Forest to do well. And if it's a player that I've once said I don't think is good enough and turns out to be, I'm happy. And I'm buzzing for Chris Wood. I love him. He's a lovely player, a lovely person, and just a fantastic representation of our club. I love it.
Jay, quick question. Would you give him a new contract? Yes or no?
Absolutely. How long would I give him? It's a tough question, because you do have to consider the fact that he is, going to be pushing 34 if you give him that year contract. So you do have to be realistic in the fact that he can do this, and I've got no doubt he'll do it this season. But next season, the season after, things do start to change. So I'd give him another year if he wanted it, of course. But I think the most important people we need to tie down in a contract for me at the moment is Ola Aina. And if we can, Morgan Gibbs-White. But, we'll have to just sort of move from there.
People in the chat, would you give Chris Wood a new contract after the poll as well? Yes or no? Glenn, would you? Contract, yes or no?
I would. In fact, I was listening to you and Aussie Dave, talk about it on Sunday night, was it?
Sunday night, yeah.
I think that when you automatically think about a new contract, you go 3 years. And Jamie, I think you're right there. A rolling 1 year wouldn't be the worst thing for us. I think that would be a sensible thing for both the future dad in Chris Woods.
Yep. Shout out to Chris Wood.
And us. I think it would suit both parties. Absolutely.
And that's another factor you do have to take into account as well, because he's becoming a dad. The chances of him, staying on for another year are quite high, because unless he's going to make that move, and go because he wants to sell somewhere else, I'd say there's a good chance. And it's also worth mentioning as well that after that year, there's a football club in New Zealand. It might be Auckland that have said about it, but the owner of the club in New Zealand has said that they want to bring Chris Wood over, and they try to do everything they can to bring him over. But obviously, at the moment, Premier League, the wages are so high. So I think if you gave him another year, it'd be great. And then maybe he could finish it off in New Zealand, which would be a really wholesome thing for him. And he's obviously a young family.
100%. People hit the like button if you can subscribe, if you know. Another player that's been everyone's raving about, and Anderson, the number 10 role. And I thought, when I seen the line, I thought, oh, okay, he's got a point to prove. People in the chat, what's your thoughts on that, Anderson? Glenn, do you think he's ready for that number 10 role? Because I don't know Morgan Gibbs-White, if he's injured or not. Do you think? How do you think how he was yesterday for that role?
Oh, he fitted in really well, didn't he? I think it took him 10, 15 minutes to get it up to speed with the game. I've got to be honest, 9 minutes of that, I wasn't in my seat. It took me a while to get into the ground. But it took him a while to get into it. But then on, absolutely phenomenal. First touch. The thing that caught my eye the most, and this is the thing that I've been listening to and reminiscing about today, is Jamie, not too far from you, A block, first half, ball was pinging up and down in the air. There were 3 or 4 of their players around the ball, and he just brought it down. Took 2 or 3 touches and turned and moved into midfield. And everybody, all the other 5 or 6 were just standing there watching him. Absolutely phenomenal. Opportunities in front of goal. Lovely feet, really good balance. Playing extremely well off the ball and also in possession in a 10. And that's what you're looking for, isn't it? That's exactly what I was hoping that he would do in that role, and fitted in really well. And I know he got the whoever selected the man of the match from the ground. I don't think he was the best
Adidas, wasn't it? I think Adidas
was it?
Yeah, it was Adidas. Yeah.
Okay. But he was absolutely sensational there and did everything right. Was an outstanding debutant, if you like, as a deputy for what may well be Morgan coming back. I don't know if it's against Leicester. I could definitely see him playing as a 10 against Leicester on Friday. I'm not sure whether Morgan is completely fit or whether Morgan will, split the 60-30 with him. But I can definitely see him being a long-term fit for us in that role. And in terms of being ready, Dore, to answer your question, I think he is. Yeah, he certainly is as a result of the performance last night. Now, Palace in their role and Palace in the position where they are, would I want to play him against a City or an Arsenal or a United? Maybe not. But he's certainly got the raw ingredients to be as versatile a player he is across that midfield, and particularly sitting back as an 8 potentially. I can definitely see him becoming that temporary fit that we have in as a deputy as a replacement, I should say, for an injured Morgan Gibbs-White, or long term if Morgan moves on. But no, it's a really, really good performance last night. One of the best players on the pitch for us, particularly, and sensational performance. And cap it off with a goal, and that's an absolute man of the match performance. And he was so close to scoring it. And I see that a couple of occasions when he was almost there, just didn't quite have that finishing touch.
The first half, you about the first half.
First half, particularly.
Yeah, the first half, I think he went past 3 players.
Yeah, absolutely cutting in, wasn't it? In fact, the Wood goal miss where he brought it down in front of Henderson that last minute, lovely ball playing in as well. So that just shows why he's been playing out wide left as a temporary fit for Callum Hudson-Odoi as well. But he's in a 10, absolutely ready, and may or may not feature on Friday night instead of or as well as Morgan Gibbs-White. Yeah, really good performance.
There's a few people are enjoying Anderson. Really pleased with our start of the season. Anderson has come in. Steven Gerrard, bloody hell. That'd be great, wouldn't it, people? Steven Gerrard. Mark says, I saw yesterday, Mark, man of the match goes to Georgie Mandana as well. And all the celebrities on the show last night. Star Billing goes to Dave. Yes. Yeah, I think he got a bit jolly yesterday. But yeah, shout out to David as well. And Mollo as well. I like him in centre midfield, but was class last night. 55 million, but it was. If you look at it, it's 15. If you look at it like that, people. But Jay, there's another player that I want to talk about before we do talk about defence. Is Dominguez. because I said he is a number 8. He proved. I think he played all right yesterday. But people in the chat, how do you think about Dominguez yesterday? But let me get Jay to talk about him.
Well, I was really nervous about Dominguez's future at Forest because I thought of all the players that we possibly lose, I thought he'd be the one we'd lose because he almost seems like an awkward fit. Because it's like he's the key to something really special. But I don't think for a while that Forest knew what that was because they were playing him out wide and, he'd come inside like Olympiacos away was a really good example of when he could do that. But I still didn't like him there because I thought his footwork's quick, he's physical, he's got a bit of bite to him. And that's something I'd like to see in midfield. And obviously when you've got Sangare and Danilo, because by the way, we've still got Sangare and Danilo to come back. Please remember this. We've still got those two to come back.
We're 8th.
And we're 8th, right? So even with the issue in depth, you've now got Dominguez who's had this opportunity to shine in that 8th position. And the first half, he was good. Don't get me wrong. A couple of, misplaced passes, etc. But the second half, once he got that yellow card, from that moment on, it was like, okay, this is my game. And he's taking the game at his pace. And when every single time Forest lost the ball, he was just running after his player. He was hunting them down to go and get it back. And then there was a couple of times as well where he just placed a really intelligent ball down the left side. And he just, that little triangle of players on that left wing, when you've got players like Chalobah and Gahey and Lacroix as well, putting on that pressure and the way they were just playing it around on each side of the corners was just so impressive. I was really, really impressed. And I think that you need that calmness and you need that composure in the midfield.
See, and there's a touch map for Dominguez as well.
Everywhere. I think that's where they put everywhere.
Yeah. Everywhere.
You've just got to look at that for me and realise the kind of player that Forest have got. And also remember, if you look back, you paid £7 million for him and you swapped Freuler.
Don't listen to me. Don't leave him alone, Jay. Don't go there.
I like Freuler. I do like Freuler. I think we played him in the wrong place. But we've arguably got a much better player in Dominguez. And I've got to say, last night, his pairing with Yates was just lovely. And a word on Elliot Anderson as well. It's natural to be really anxious about Morgan Gibbs-White not being there because for a long time, I felt that's our weakness. He is our biggest strength and our biggest weakness because he's our biggest strength when he's on the pitch, but he's our biggest weakness when he's not. And I feel like yesterday, Forest proved that we aren't reliant on Gibbs-White anymore. We want him in the team because we need him in the team still. But Elliot Anderson is such a prospect. And he's good first team, but he's still got a long way to go, I think. And last night was just a really good glimpse of what we can look forward to in the future. So,
Jamie,
yeah, brilliant.
Jamie, to add to that, I think that's only beneficial to Morgan Gibbs-White as well, because the first season he felt like everything was on his shoulders and he was playing like with the weight of the whole thing. And he was so impactful and having that. The more players he's got around him that he can work with and he's not necessarily carrying the team, that's only going to bring the creativity streak out of him even more, isn't it? It's going to benefit the midfield and that 10 and wings and everything else going forward. So, yeah, great point.
Let's talk. I'm going to ask you guys as well. And our defense is getting better and better. Sells made fantastic saves. I've lost the words with Milinkovic. I just keep going on and on about this defender. He's a monster. Murillo can keep going on, but we've got one of the best defenses in the Premier League, Glenn. But come on, let's talk about him. We've got to talk about the whole back five. When's the last time we've had a back five like that? I can't remember. It's working.
Early 90s, I'd say. I think there's a certain amount you can say about that back five. What you've got to remember though is the more we say about it, the more other teams will notice, and they'll take them away from us.
Yes.
But isn't it fantastic that we've got actually from Sells and the two centre halves and the midfield three and Wood, the spine that we've been looking for potentially 18 months, 2 years, certainly since the Ghana
callback.
group with McKenna and Worrell and
Yeah.
Samba, who was in the crowd last night.
He was there. Days up smoking.
So we've got that core of a spine in the team, starting with that was the one. Starting with Jetler was there as well last night, wasn't he? Looking well.
Do you know who these players are, Jay? Just Jay Moana went.
Shut up, Dore. Shut up, you.
Yeah. So yeah, the back five have been influential. You know, when you look at the way that our team are grinding out draws, grinding out wins, going ahead, and like last night, at no point did I feel, wow, 7 added minutes. Hold on, here we go. At no point did I feel that we were ever gonna do anything. Partly because Palace couldn't hit a barn door and they were spraying the ball everywhere, and Eze and others were not really challenging Sells. Although Sells had a phenomenal game and was my man of the match.
Eze had 2 chances though. Eze was the best. Was the best player for them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Sells
was the best player for Palace. Eze. Yeah. Will Hughes.
No, Will Hughes was. Will Hughes was
the best player. As soon as they took him off, they lost it.
Palace fans, I speak to shout out to Rich. He was fuming, and I was like, I think all the Forest fans were excited because he was dominating that midfield for little stages and bit.
Yeah, and a couple of things I've read and heard today, they were saying that Will Hughes didn't really do that much and was taken off. He was the difference maker in midfield for them when they had possession and made it really hard for us, regain possession a lot for them and broke down a lot of our attacks in midfield particularly. Not that I'm on the Will Hughes bandwagon at all.
No.
But our back five have been the difference makers, as I say. The second best defensive group in the Premier League, 6 goals conceded in 8 games, 3 clean sheets in those 8 games. You know, this is why we are rightly in 8th place. Yes, it's Wood's 5 goals. Yes, it's 4 other goal scorers, 3 other assists. But that's the midfield group that we're working on. But the defensive 5 are being consistently excellent, and that's exactly what we need back there. The reassurance that comes from having that ball coming back into midfield. The midfielders are not playing with necessarily facing the goal as much as they were last year. They can certainly turn and play, and they've got options left, right, and centre. And that certainly is what we'll hope to be the band that we can keep going on, certainly through Christmas. Although there may be some changes, and we've heard that there's certainly talk about one of those at least going or staying or getting a new contract. We've talked about. But we hope not. We hope we can keep that together, and that will be the difference makers going right through the rest of the 30 games we've got in the Premier League. So I cannot say how influential and how important those 5 are. Yes, midfield has been interchangeable, but the solidity in that 5, particularly since Alex Marino came in at the end of the transfer window and allowed Olarena to play on.
He proved me wrong. He proved me wrong as well. He proved me wrong.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to mention about that, but I think I'm glad to see you got over that little heartbreak, you know, and that you're moving on from it. That's a real.
I've moved on a long time ago. Just don't mention it again, Glenn. Don't mention it again, please.
But keeping those 5, and you know, Williams came on, and we had a back 4. Sort of back 5 at certain points, weren't we, at the end of the second half, sort of 15 minutes to go when Morata came on. And that allowed Williams to push on, and the difference he made, not necessarily as a defender, but pushing on and allowing a bit more space down that our left-hand side, the corner flag, the penalty, the Trent end. Yeah, I will say that is the core division, if you like, defensive midfield and attack, the core division at the moment that is the most consistent and is regularly achieving the 8s and 9s out of 10. And Sells was my man of the match last night. He was absolutely fantastic when he needed to. And I said on your show on Sunday night, Dore, with David, I think if it wasn't for those 2 mistakes that he was involved with, I don't think totally responsible for one of them potentially at the Amex about the free kick. Had it not been for that, we've only had 5. Had that not gone in, Welbeck's free kick not gone in, that would have been a massive difference as well. But no, as a group, they are, they're the difference in our team, and I hope they continue to be. They're playing so well.
I just want to put up a message, and this is from Gary. Sorry to disagree, but I have to shout out to Cole Smith, Forest fan. His funeral on Thursday. He'll be sadly missed, and whole family. Rest in peace, Cole. From Gary. Yeah, rest in peace, Cole. But yeah, you'll be sadly missed. But this is a massive shout out to Stuart. Thank you for the £20 as well. Thank you.
Drinks on door. Let's go.
Thanks, Stuart. Now you got him going. Great, and like I'm worried about Jamie's transfer window. I think it's threat this season. I think that with that, Stuart, we'll talk about that in the next show. We're trying to cut it down because we have started late. So thank you I do appreciate it as well, Stuart, for the £20 as well. That was going on myself, not this guy here. Right here. I was make this quick, Jay. Elanga. Everyone's saying he should get dropped. Jota Silva, come on. And I said to people said I don't think it was Des. I prefer Jota Silva coming off the bench because he has a massive impact, and he did. But people say now he's played good. Elanga's playing rubbish. Drop him against Leicester. People in the chat, what do you think? What do you think, Jay?
I'm going to be honest. I want him to be dropped. My patience has just completely worn thin with Elanga, and it's horrible because I don't think that it's a quality issue because he's clearly got the quality. The amount of goals and assists he got last year, clearly, exactly. But we're not seeing enough of it this season, and the confidence isn't there. And I'm someone that wants to give a player every chance because we saw it with Brennan Johnson when he was at Forest. Like the confidence was a bit of an issue for him, and they've really, really supported. Brennan Johnson to kind of come out of his shell a bit and then get that confidence to the Prem, and he went and scored loads of goals. But for me, I think that, it's time that Elanga was dropped. You're playing Leicester. This is a local derby, should we say? I'm not going to call it a rivalry. Yeah, we'll do a bit of that.
Loosely.
Do you know what I want? I want the nastiest players on the pitch against Leicester, and I want us to be kicking them. I want it to be a nasty, nasty game of football. And I want you to have your Jack Russells like Jota Silva on there. I want you to have your nasty sort of wind-up players like Morgan Gibbs-White. I want you to have the big men at the back like Milenkovic and so on. I want that. So I would say start Jota Silva, and then you could probably bring Elanga on, because I actually think in a weird way, I agree that Jota Silva's impact off the bench is great, but I think that Elanga offers more off the bench than he does when he starts. So I want to see that kind of swap now and see how it goes. So I want to see Silva start.
Okay, brilliant. People, watch out for the show, Leicester show. It's going to be a crazy one. Thursday, me, Molo, and 2 Leicester fans. It's going to be a crazy show. So watch out for that. That starts at 8 o'clock. So watch out for that. And Stuart, again, he sent me another 20 quid. Oh, God. Stuart, thank you. Thank you again. This is going on, Glenn. This is not going on, Jay. This is to the panel going towards you, Glenn. Is that okay?
Thank you, mate. Isn't it going in the prize fund?
Yeah. That you know what? Let me put this 20 quid towards Amanda. Yeah. That 20 quid, Stuart. I'll put it straight to Amanda's defibrillators. So people, like I said, if anyone wants to do any send money to Amanda, the link at the top of the chat. Just click on it. And just Amanda's trying to get a 50th defibrillator. So if you can, please do. But yeah, Stuart, thank you very much. We're 8th in the league, Glenn. We are 8th in the league. It's unreal. It's crazy, isn't it? We're like at the start of the season, I was like, we're gonna be like fighting again for mid-table, bottom of the league. It's unreal, isn't it?
It is, and it is, like I said, absolutely the right place for us to be in the situation we're in after the 8 games, 13 points. It's really interesting. You saw this tweet about Pardew last night. They're in a false position because that squad is definitely not good enough to be top 10 after 38 games. It's a nice cushion for them, and it gives them a breathing space because there's going to be some defeats coming their way. There will be. We will lose other games. We'll lose games at home that we should have won, and we'll win games away that last season we lost. I think that's only the the necessary natural position to be in a team and a squad like ours that is developing and making progress like it is, that we will be getting certain games and results that, you know, are unexpected. Like Des was saying on his excellent post-match analysis last night, there's a team somewhere in our next handful of games that we could quite nicely, Stuart, that we could quite nicely absolutely tonk 3 or 4-0, and that's coming. We are in a situation that's unusual, unless you're old enough like I am to know that team who finished the Premier League in 3rd place in that season. And we've got a lot of players who very much remind me of attributes that they've got. I was talking to Dave last night about Aussie Dave after the game. And, you know, there's lots of players in there that I can see in terms of their skill set that are very similar to players that we've got at the moment. You know, the Roys and that lot are just phenomenal players, and you know, they're very much like the creative players we've got at the moment. However, there will be a point, and I think December's going to be really critical, isn't it? We were all looking at that when the schedule came out, the timetable came out, that period over the Christmas break is always a tough time for us. We've got 2 Manchester clubs in very close succession, and after that New Year spell, I think that's a point to then reflect again, to see exactly where we are and exactly where we're likely to finish. And it would be lovely. And I think I spoke to both of you at certain points in the season about this, and others, for us to know by end of February, early March, what our next season is going to look like. And it would be fantastic, wouldn't it, if by that point we know exactly where we're going to finish, or there or thereabouts. The bottom 4 that are currently being set adrift, that includes teams that we've beaten in Southampton and Palace, that are going to get cut adrift, and we'll know that we're Premier League. We'll know that we're Premier League for a 4th season. We'll know that what we're doing in terms of where you're going to watch them, Jamie, and commentating, and Dore going to watch them play in some tour somewhere around the world.
Australia.
It better be pre-season.
Those sorts of plans are going to start happening the sooner we know that we're going to stay in the Premier League. And I think that's only a natural progression in our team's existence, to become a team that we want, you know, that regular, consistent, I dare say, playing in the sorts of areas like the Brighton and the Palace were. Now, I know, because where I live, Palace training ground is about a mile down the road. The actual Sellers Park is about 3 miles that way. And there's lots of Palace fans around here that I'll be speaking to when I go back to work next week. And they were all saying at the start of the season that they just want to push on. Unfortunately, the player that they've got that we didn't pick up didn't play well last night. He didn't get the ball that he wanted. He didn't get any of the sort of thing. Now, ironically, I think he might have, had he been playing for us, that Jota Silva break, he may well have made a run to get on that. He may well have made something else out about it. But, you know, we dodged that one. We are, Marseille, love it. We are the team that we hoped we would be at this point in the season. I think 8th is flattering us, to be honest, although I think we've done well to stay there and there or thereabouts in the last sort of 4 or 5 games. And the longer we can stay top 10, the longer we can stay in that comfortable position in the low teens, the sooner we're going to be able to make plans for the summer and know exactly what we're doing next season, and then make hopefully the good choices in terms of selections of players, whether we need to replace certain key players or not. We're certainly having that Sells debate that we were having before. He's certainly playing better than he was, isn't he? Than he was playing sort of 3 or 4 games ago. And we've got that solid all the way through team and the bench that's really making an impact. And yeah, the manager's getting the best out of them, aren't they?
100%. I don't know if I said this. Another 20 quid from Stuart. No donation for Amanda as Rez as we cover. Stuart, you're a legend. 60 quid for the stream. Amanda is watching now, so Amanda, if you're watching this, another 20 quid straight to another defibrillator. So yeah, thank you, Stuart, for and A message from him. Ben is such a humble man, selfish and recognised of his community. He's amazing to portray to away days. Thank you very much. Not me. Gotta go with Jay, Glenn, and all the people I go with as well. But yeah, Stuart, I do appreciate for that. And like I said, the money will go straight towards Amanda's defibrillators as well. So people like well, if you want to follow Amanda's defibrillators page as well, it's at the top. Right, we've gone past for half an hour, Mark. I'm going to make it quick, lad, because I know we've got work in the morning and extra. Man of the match. People in the chat, who's the man of the match from yesterday's game? Jay, man of the match and team rating.
Eddie Nketiah, because he didn't want to score because he loves Forest, really. My man of the match yesterday was Elliot Anderson. Fantastic. Great feet. Great chances created. Special player.
What's your rating?
From yesterday?
Yeah.
He was like Zidane. I'm going to go 11 out of 10. Let's go for it.
There was something on social media, wasn't there? Who was it? I don't know who
it was. Bet365, I think.
That's it. That's
Zizou.
Zizou. Bloody hell. So, yeah, okay. Glenn, what's yours?
Yeah, Milinkovic played really well. Anderson was phenomenal. Sells kept us in the game at 2 key points yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And had it not been for the save onto the woodwork and the arguably easier save towards the end of the game, low to his right hand or level with his eye line at the right hand side that pushed the ball off, we might have been a team that again is one of those teams that loses more points than they win from winning positions, if you like. We've already dropped 4 points from winning positions, and I didn't want last night to be the case. So Sal's kept us in the game and was my man of the match last night. He was phenomenal.
Wicked. Team rating?
7.5. Because of the performance in the first half. Had we been a bit brighter and offered a bit more, then it might have been an 8. Although I know we're pushing on. Oh no, 8. I'll go 8.
Okay.
Partly because of the way we managed the game for the last 20 minutes, including the 7 minutes of added time.
Okay. I'll say Sells for me. Made some beautiful saves as well. Yeah, I'll say Sells, and I'll say the same Glenn as you are. I think I'll with 8, if I'm honest. So yeah, that's my rating. Everyone say people. I've seen everyone rated Justin, another member to my channel, Sells and 7.5/10, 100%. Molo says Yates, man of the match for me. I'm not mentioning Yates, but Ryan Yates gets a 7. I think that was it for my members' channels. Yeah, and that's it. But yeah, Forest win. We've got them lot next game. We've got the Leicester City. And I'm going to throw Jay on the bus on this one. Jay, you know when I take you to the game, don't do a repeat what you did last time. If you know, you know. I've warned Malcolm, don't do that again. Because we are parking the same spot. Glenn, I'll tell you off stream.
I know.
Well, I'm in Leicester for 4 days next week, so I've got to make sure that I keep clean and I'm all good.
You keep clean.
I know.
Yes. So
can't be causing any problems.
If you hear some loud voice, his name is J1 Martin. Okay. But yeah, joke aside, we've got Leicester. Big game.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
I've got a stream on Thursday. Watch out for that. It's going to be fun. Me, Molo, against the 2 Leicester fans. But it's going to be absolutely fun. But I've enjoyed it. Jay, thank you very much for coming on my channel. Glenn, always a pleasure for you as well. Any content coming your way, Jay, before we leave?
What's that?
Any content on your channel?
Oh, any content?
Slacking.
No, I will be streaming on. I'll be streaming on Sunday night. I might be a little bit hungover, but I will be streaming on Sunday night because I'll be hungover from celebrating that Leicester win on Friday. So I don't care that I've said it. Just you can clip it if you want at the time. It doesn't bother me. Up the Forest, and I'll see you Sunday. You Reds.
Yeah, as well. But yeah, behave yourself, Jay. But yeah, people, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for everyone that's took the part as well. If you are rewatching this, and everything that you disagree from everything what Jay says, put in the comment section as well. But yeah,
I dare you.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure. Watch 8 o'clock Forest Leicester stream. I'll be there with everyone on Thursday as well. Friday we've got Leicester, so can't wait. circle rivals loosely, but it should be fun. If you are new to the channel, please hit like button, subscribe if you're new, and thank you for everyone, especially Stuart for 60 quid. And as well, go to Amanda's defibrillator page as well. She's trying to get a 50th defibrillator to the local football teams around Nottinghamshire. So please do. She's done fantastic work as well. So please do. Right. Thank you very much, everyone. And I'll see you on Thursday. It's going to be fun. Peace and love. Up the Forest.